prepared to make the opening incisions in the head. The first one to make is going from the antler burr to the center of the neck. I just pick a spot, not really randomly, but I pick a spot, go through. Before I like the curved knife, you can go through, and the top part of the blade actually can lean against the antler burr as you work it under the skin, rock it forward and back until you reach about midway point. Go to the other side, do the same thing. We go in like so, leaning the upper part of the blade against the antler burr, like so. Like so. Rock it back and forth. Try to maintain the same angle as you did with the first opening incision so that you meet up right in the middle. And you can pull the hairs back and find out where you're at. Like so. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to go just a little more and meet this. We now have the top flap. We can get in here, open this up. He's got a thick scalp. Thick scalp. Now, I like to loosen this up around the antler burr just a bit, so I go with my short knife again. This is a good stout blade. And I can just start pushing like so. Cutting right up underneath the antler burr. You see we've got that loosened up. Go to the other side. Same thing. Up to the antler. Oh, this deer smells like pine. Nice. This is a Christmas deer. It smells like a pine tree. All right. Go along, loosen this up. This on the top of the scalp. Like so. Now I'm going to get in with a longer straight knife. Here's where the incision meets, the V incision from each antler. It's meeting there. I can get in here with a straight paring knife, go under the skin, make sure the skin is straight back, lift the knife as I go. Some people end it right between the ears. I go a little further past, especially on a deer with hair that's this long. I'll let go a little past. Okay. It ends right here. All right? The short Y incision, right there. Put an edge on this blade again. I'm going to start opening them up. Main thing you want to do, you don't need to cut the meat. You want to cut the tissue holding the skin to the meat. Okay. Like so. Okay, time for a coffee. Okay, sometimes you can suspect things, and of course, as Ducky would say in NCIS, I won't know till I get him on the table. I suspected that there was a rope around this deer's neck. Now, I know the guy who hunted him, he didn't do this, but there is some broken hairs around the neck, right here. There's a ring How can you tell for sure? All right, as you're going along skinning, I notice on both sides of the incision, right here, that dark line indicates that's a rope burn. That's a rope burn. And it almost looks like this deer is wearing a collar. You can see it on the outside. So this deer was hung up by the neck, probably by the meat cutter. I've got to let my client know what they did to this deer when he wasn't around. Shit, that is really stupid. It's also indicating by the dried neck meat here, as well as the dark ring on this side of the neck. You won't know for sure until you get him on the table, Gibbs. And this is on the table. And I know for sure. Alrighty, I'm going to go along here, pull this back, or pull this forward, I should say, get the knife blade under it and go up towards the antler burr, and you can see how the skin peels away. Some hang on tougher than that. Some hang on a lot tougher than that. Alright, now, again, we open this up, go underneath with the blade towards the ear butt, and pull. Slice and pull, slice and pull. Slice, carve it away, and pull. Carve it away from the top of the skull as well, like so. And work on the bottom portion of the incision also. Here. Open it up as we go. Go up. Right here. Position the camera here. All right. Grab hold of the skin. Don't just grab hold of the hair. You'll pull the hair out by the roots. Grab hold of the skin and work underneath the skin toward the antler burr, loosening up surrounding tissue as you go. Sometimes you can get in here with the pliers, pull it away with the pliers. See how nice? Just slice through the meat that's adhering to the skin here. Now I'm exposing up the back of the ears. I want to pull around. I want to cut some more of the adhering tissue and tendons that are holding the skin in place. And get in here with this blade was not only wrapped, it's been ground down some. So it gets into tight places here. Like so. And we'll go ahead and pull the skin down around the antlers. Come on, baby. Let's get you loose here. Let's free up this skin that's being held in place here. It's being held fast. Let's get that loose. Down around the antler burrs again. And now pull. Like so. There we go. Now we free up the skin where it's being held fast by all these tendons and ligaments and things. Now, I'm exposing the back of the ear at this point. I'm going to start cutting, I should say slicing up into the back of the ear, just to expose the ear skin. I don't want to go through the ear skin. And as I go, I'm also going to As I go along, I'm also loosening up around the antlers as well. A little more. All right. Another thing you can do to get around the antlers, get in there with a screwdriver. This happens to be a Phillips head. You can use a straight head, standard, just to get under the skin and kind of pry it away. And you get under and you carve the skin away again with a knife. Screwdriver helps loosen it up. Oh, I'm probably blocking the view, and I'm sorry about that, but I've got to be able to get in there. There. Now we can get around. Get around the base of the antler with the screwdriver. Get in, pull away as we go. Get under there with a short bladed knife, or any knife you wish, and cut it away from the antler burr as we go. Get in here with your tool again. You can use a modeling tool, you can use a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, pen head screwdriver, Phillips head, doesn't matter. Now I'm going to come from the back. I'm going to completely loosen this around the antler before I go any further. It takes a little bit of carving away. You can hit the screwdriver. Go along. It's pretty tight in this area. Like so. And we're just about freed. Just about completely freed away. Here we go. Now we're through here with the screwdriver. Lean against the head, pull it away. We've freed up around one antler. I'm going to skin down between the meat and the skin. Now be careful, there's the back of the eye right there. I'm going to stop that. Let's turn around. I'm going to resituate. Start cutting away at the back of the ear. Now, without a scar from a rope burn, this is not as hard. This is not as tight. Right now the skin is pretty darn tight at that location. So I got to be very careful. You have to be gingerly when you're in your skinning. Okay? Go along like so. Take our ear openers. Form a little bit of a pocket. We go in here and start. Okay, we're going to form a little bit more of a pocket. And we get in here. Keep turning the ear back and keep skinning down into the ear carefully. I want to form a pocket. I want a pocket to get this ear opener up into. I think we've got the pocket formed now. And we start opening the ears while they're in place on the head. There we go. Okay. Hold tight on the skin. Here's our ear openers. Direct them from the outside. Now draw back, because when you open it, you open the blades inside the ear, they tend to catch a few of the little tendons and things inside. Direct it from the outside. Draw it back. Push it in. These are tough ears. These are really well-scarred ears. The ear opener make short work of getting them open. Luckily, we don't have a lot of ticks up here in Ohio. You get one or two in the southern counties, or in deer that come from Kentucky. Generally speaking, deer from the southwestern part of Ohio are damn near tick-free, I dare say. Now you see where the ear opener is, located in the ear. It's up here already. I'm going to continue on until the very tip is reached. We're going to manipulate the skin where I want it. This way, the openers does not tear through the side edge of the ear. Here we go. It's a little. This is a hard ear. These. Well, remember all the scrappy areas on the ear from fighting. I pointed out the notches and things and the missing portions. Like so. Okay. Now, on this particular deer, that's about as good as this is going to get. So, I'm going to go along. Start pulling them inside out just a little bit. All right. He's still frozen. Right here, he is still frozen. Oi. Get in here with a little thinner knife and a little cockeyed bent paring knife. Get in here with it. Oh God, yeah, he's ice cold. He's frozen down there. Well, it's where the muscles are the thickest. It's where the ear butt meets the neck skin. Frozen, and the dried area from the rope burn. Let's see if I can get up in here again. The ear openers. If I can get to the other side of the ear, start opening. He's got a lot of damage to these ears. God damn. He's got a lot of damage. Okay, I'm going to keep going until I get this ear fully exposed. All right, I've gone ahead and started this off camera. Shame on me, and I'm sorry. I'm using the pliers to grab the cartilage that I've loosened up inside to turn it inside out. And here you can see where the heaviest connections to the ear are. I'm going to slice through those. Being careful not to slice through the edge of the ears or through the ear skin itself. See this tendon? That is seriously, seriously holding things in place. Cut that free. Now I'm also going to loosen up. I'm going to skin here a bit. Let's get this on centered in frame here. But here we go. Like so. Very, 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 very heavy and thick scar tissue. Oh, this deer is extraordinarily scarred in his ears. This was an old fighting buck, I'll tell you. But anyway, this is how to turn an ear while in place on the head, using the head to help as an anchor point to hold everything in place. Hold all in place. And you see it's actually yellowed. Because he probably has some infected area in here. Alright, I gotta be careful. I'm starting to cut right into the cartilage, and I don't want to do that. I do not want to cut into the cartilage. I do not want to cut into the cartilage as much as I do not want to cut into the ear skin, because the back of the cartilage is the front of the ear. Here. Don't want to do that. And I think we're having an ice storm. Wonderful! And we're going to keep on keeping on. All right. Right now, this ear is turned well enough to begin the process of dissecting the meat away from the ear cartilage. It's all a matter of getting things into the right place, proper perspective. I guess that's a good term to use here. I'm going to take the knife blade and go under, like so. Free the meat from the ear cartilage. I did another video on turning an ear, turning one of the ears on a deer cape, where they were cut off flush to the skull during the skinning process. Removing the meat from the cartilage is the same thing. Doesn't matter if it's attached to the head, still attached to the head, or removed from the head. It's all the same thing. You want to get under the meat. You don't want to cut through the skin. You just want to cut through the red meat. Like so. Okay, all the way around. Go all the way around. Like so. And like so. Here. Like so. We're going to go all the way down. You see, this is really freed up now, this ear. Real loose. Loosey-goosey, that's what we want. Loosey-goosey. That's why I like using the curved blade. You can turn it whichever way you need to accomplish the task at hand. And that's what it's doing right now. I turn it every which way, but loose. Good movie for its day. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to detach the ear cartilage from the base of the skull so I can free up some more of the meat that's holding it in place. See if we can get it. Here's the attachment point of the ear cartilage to the skull. I'm going to get in there, I'm going to get down deep, cut through it. Right there. And he does have a little pus in there. Yuck. Never a pleasant discovery. Never a pleasant. And if this was smell-o-vision, you'd really be enjoying what I'm enjoying. I'm just kidding. It doesn't smell that bad. I've had worse on the table. Again, carving away the meat. Just cutting it away. Get around here. The hardest part of this whole project is the burn, the rope burn to the skin. Now, there's the ear, loosened up. All right, there we go. I'll get a little sharper knife. I'm going to free this all up, like so. All this ear butt muscle tissue. Like so. You see that? Freeing this all up. There we go. Nicely, nicely done. You always want to avoid cutting hairs. It's easy enough to do, but you want to try not to. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do this was the left ear. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the right ear. And when I see you, or when the camera sees me again, we're going to be freeing the neck meat at the base here. And then we're going to be skinning around the eyes. Now, to ensure that the ear skin doesn't dry out, I'm reverting them to the right side out position. So the ear skin doesn't dry out in the cold air. The worst thing about hanging a deer up by the neck with a rope, You'll find that where does the rope go? But the rope goes around the neck and up right against the antlers. At least it did on this side. Okay? So that really kind of makes the skinning a lot tougher than it needs to be. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull the neck skin back down over the neck like so. Go back like so, and we just keep peeling it back down over the neck. You could go in from the back side and come forward. I do it like this because I'm an idiot. I do it like this because it's fun. It's a bit of a challenge. Just want to cut loose all the connective tissue. There. All right, there's the back of the neck exposed. Yummy. Definitely. Here's his throat. His trachea and his esophagus. Now, I'm going to keep going forward on him. Just going to keep detaching all of the connective tissue here. All right, like so. Getting a little cold out here. But keep going till it's done, baby. Then I'll take the cape down to my basement shop where the temperature's a lot more controlled and do the splitting and whatnot. But for now, I'll have that on camera too. But for right now, I just want to get this cape off the deer head, off the head. Okay, I want to get the cape off the head. Like so. And if you choose to use the long incision, that's all good. It's all good. All right, there's nothing wrong with the long incision. I choose not to use it. If you want to use it, skin the deer as usually would. When you get to this part here, this is the important part. This is the part that I'm creating this for, is to skinning the head. I don't care how you get here. Get here with a short wide incision, get here with a full length long incision. I don't care. That doesn't matter. The point is, what I'm doing now is removing the cape, the head skin from the head bone proper. I want to flip him over again. Come here, baby. It's a heavy deer, man. This is a big buck. Big buck taken by a little lady. All right, reposition the camera to capture what I'm doing around the eyes. All right. I'm bring the skin forward. It's cutting away the heavy muscle tissue. Now I'm reaching the back of the eyelids. Now remember, there's an artificial eye in the socket, so I'm going to go ahead and pop that out. Why, Popeye? The reason this has to come out, I have to get my finger in there. See, it's just like a really freaky contact. Now, in order to avoid cutting the back of the eyelid, stick your finger in the eye socket like so. Now, your finger is somewhere in here, all right? You work carefully by paring the meat back, like so. All right. See how that meat's being pared back? Now, fingertip is right around in here. What you want to do, trim this heavy meat, get this through, put the finger back in the eyelid, stick him in the eye. Now, the skin is being freed up from the bone, and what we've got here now is the eye socket itself, the bone of the eye socket. Right here, see the movement under the skin? Right here is where the eye socket, the lining of the eye socket is, the eyelid. The lining of the eyelid. Cutting away against the bone. All right? Against the bone. This is the bony eye socket right here. This is the bony eye socket right here. Cutting away. My finger is right here. See that? That's where my finger is. I'm going to continue cutting along the bone. Once you've separated it along the bone, it's time to, with a little sharper knife, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to slice. There's my finger. I'm going to go behind the finger. Right here. My finger's going to come all the way through here. Just a second, right there. Now you continue cutting the lining of the eyelid without cutting the eyelid itself. Check it from the outside. Let's check it. Here's the rear corner of the eye intact, right here. This is the membrane that's been cut. Now we're going to go along and continue to cut the eye skin right against the bone, against the bone. Now, let's get the curved knife here. Okay. Just go along like so. Keep the finger in here. Can you see the eye socket? Can you see the eyelids? Upper and lower eyelids. Okay. Just going to go along with the knife blade against the bone. Again, it does not take me as long to do it. I'm not explaining it, but I want you to see exactly what it is I'm doing. Get a nice sharp blade here. It's always good to have a good sharp blade. Now, I want to get the meat above the eye freed up. I want the skin to come forward. I want this skin to come forward. All right, like so. Just like so. I want that all to come forward. Now, right here, this is the nictitating membrane. Right here. The nictitating membrane. We're cutting the interior eyelid lining, or lining of the eyelid. Cutting along, like so. Get the nictitating membrane the heck out of the way. There we are. Now, we are right at the front corner of the eye, and it adheres tightly at this point. Got a good sharp knife here. Sharpen my curved knife. It adheres very, very tightly right here. I want to go from above, come from below. And the thing that'll mess you up is this ear, the eyelid lining. The lining of the eyelid is it's very fatty. Okay, now remember we freed up the lacrimal gland from the front. We're just going to meet it right here. come around the top and come down for you to see. It's going to loosen up the meat. This is the front corner of the eye and at its attachment. All right, turn this right side out again. Here's the eyelid, intact. This is the lining of the eyelid. This is the front corner of the eye, the front channel, I should say, of the eye. That's the channel, the front channel of the eye. I'm going to continue forward until that's completely freed up. Right there. All right, the right eye is freed up. Freed from the skull. This heavy meat here, this is the brow muscle. I prefer to take it off while I'm skinning because I'm crazy that way. All right, now, just going to keep going forward. This is the lower brow muscles. All right, like so. Here it is. Side of the face freed up. Little throat area. There we go. I keep knocking my hat to the light on the camera. All right, there we go. Okay. Here we are. The eyelids are intact. I'm going to stop right here and I'm going to do the other side. Okay, I've gone and skinned around the bottom of the neck. I'm coming to where the corner of the mouth is located. Cape is off. I can now take at least number 9 measurement on my measurement chart, and that is the circumference around the neck. Okay? And this is the tape measure I prefer. It's a fiberglass covered or fiberglass tape measure. Lift up the neck, set the tape under it, get it around here, right behind the ears. A little pull. Make sure the meat is good and relaxed. Now I've got 18. I've got 18. The form can either be 18 and a half or 19. All right, and a little further down the neck, around the outside, around the top, I should say. On a relaxed, I've got 20 inches. So this can be 18 by 20 or 19 by 20. The final measurements. I think I'm going to go 19 by 20 because this deer's face is so large, his head is so large. I'm going to go 19 by 20. So he's 7.5 by 19 by 20. That is a good sized deer, good size measurement. And it's a hell of a better measurement. Now remember, there was a rope burn on this neck. So see, this area is all dried in here. All right. So bringing the measurement up a bit is not going to hurt anything. It's to the deer's benefit. He's got a 13-inch long head. His nose to eye, again, 7.5. It's a big deer. This is a big deer. So 19 by 20 on the neck. Perfect. Here's where we're at this point. We've got, like I say, we've got the entire head and neck, upper neck area taken out of the skin. The next thing I'll be showing will be, well, fully turning the ears to the edges and whatnot. And then flushing, splitting the eyelids, flushing the face, flushing the nose. I will then take the cape onto my large flushing beam and show you how I take the heavy meat off the cape. Until now, I'll wrap this up and leave it overnight, put it in the fridge, leave it overnight, and we'll start on it again tomorrow. Okay, the way I beam a skin, I use this large knife here, and I just go along and I lean in to the hide and I start beaming. I start shaving, paring, really paring skin, the heavy meat away. Whatever heavy meat is on the hide. Whatever heavy meat is on the hide gets pared away with this big knife. I do have a fleshing knife, but I never got comfortable using one. So I do this. And around the base of my fleshing beam rather, I put white paper down to catch the droppings of meat that come off the hide. Now I'll even take the heavy meat from around the eyes and take that down as well with this big knife. Yeah, with this big knife. I'm just very careful about it. Let's see if I can get in here with this. Maybe perhaps I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but here's the rope burn around the neck. Now I'm going to get this area here. I'm going to just shave the heavy meat of the eyes away right here. I put a keen edge on this knife, and I begin. I just go carefully. That's the lower brow meat. Down onto the paper. Paper catches it. There's paper on either side of the beam. This is around that rope burn area. Skin is real dried here. The salt will loosen it up as it draws the moisture out. I'm going to do the heavy meat on top of the brow. The upper brow meat, I should say. Make sure I have the eyelid exposed. And now I just get going, just get working on it. Get the eye membrane out of the way. I don't want to catch the eye membrane going away from the eye, because that'll be used when I split the eyes later. Split the eyelids rather later. Right here, like so. Put a little edge on here again. What I like about this blade, it's a real sturdy blade. As opposed to you trying to use a paring knife here, which has some flex to it. I'd rather not have any flex on my blade. Like so. I can also split the nose cartilage down the center. There we go. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of flushing here on the nose pad, the side of the face. The majority of this will be done using a flushing knife over a flushing ball. I have a large wooden flushing ball that I use, which is really a a round ball that you would find at the top of a stairway, like a top of a newel post. The other one is plastic. I purchased from Joe Combs. A little pricey, but it works great. It works great. So here like this. I'm double gloved this morning because it's about, I don't know, 29 to 32 degrees outside, and it's about 33 degrees in here. And this cape has been in the refrigerator overnight, so it's ice cold. My shop refrigerator is kept nearly at freezing, as close to freezing as a refrigerator can be kept. It's pretty damn cold right now. This just takes the heavy meat down off the face. Makes the final flushing just a little nicer. Just want to get the heavy meat off the around the eyes. Like so, just like so. Nice and neat. Like I say, the finer stuff will be done on a work table with smaller knives. But the heavy flushing is done here on the beam, out the big building, out the main shop. Okay. If you're looking for something that will absolutely take your breath away this holiday season, our fashion jewelry experts at Stafford Jewelers will help you find it. Our family only purchases quality diamonds directly from there that goes. So you know you're getting the best price. That goes away. You'll love it. All right. There's that. Bring it up. Remove some more of the heavier meat. This is the neck meat. Now, I'm going to go down the lower portion of the cape where there's a lot of bloody, gelatinous type meat. Put a nice sharp edge on my knife again. I guess the real trick to this is keeping the blade more flat against the hide rather than down like so. This does not have a turned blade as a fleshing knife does. This is just a big Dexter skinning knife, Dexter type skinning knife. So I like to use it at an angle and use it to simply pare the meat away from the skin. And no, this is not how I was taught to do it. This is how I basically taught myself to do it. I can never get comfortable using the using this. Yeah. Regular fleshing knife. I've got one. Not real comfortable using it. This needs an edge put on it. It has been laying out here for a while. The spiders really kind of like to get on it. But this would be how you use one of these. Now this one does not have a turned blade. Some of them have a turned blade. But you see, to me, using both hands, and it's not really doing any better than my Dexter type skinning knife. I don't know if it's a Dexter. It's what the Dexter knife looks like. But this is how you would go about using a fleshing knife like this. The real trick to any fleshing is putting opposing pressure on the skin against the direction of the knife. Whereas I'm leaning in on the hide here and pushing and sort of scraping away the meat. And it's better if you stay closer to the meat that's being pushed away or scraped away than letting yourself go all the way down the beam. That's when you tend to put more cuts in the hide. Now I'm going to just put this off to the side for now. I'm going to get back to my go back to my Dexter knife here. It's a little more exacting. You see how much quicker I go with this. Now there's the entry hole of the wound right here. That's why this area is so bloody. There we go. I like to hold the hide in position with one hand, or leaning against it with my belly, as I take the meat away. Yeah. Big piece right there. Nasty, but effective. Nasty, but effective. And when I'm done with this, there will be no more blood residue left on the hide. It'll make fleshing it a lot neater. Put an edge back on this. There's a lot of putting an edge on a hide, on a knife, when you're fleshing a hide. When I was beginning, I would put all kind of holes in a hide. And that's how you learn to sew. There we go. And that's how I flush a hide. So I hand flush a hide over a beam. And I'll continue on until I'm all done. I'll show the hide again when it's all finished. But sitting there watching this is going to be like watching paint dry. Nothing has changed. If I put a hole in it, I'll let you know. No, I won't. Yes, I will. But I try not to put holes in the hide. And I haven't put a hole in the hide in years. Of course, now that I'm on camera, watch me do it. Here we are. Okay, I'll see y'all on the other side. I will say this about the young gentleman I bought the hide from, the one that had the cut eyelids. There was none of this on the hide. He skinned the deer, and the deer cape was clean. And I mean, I had half a deer. There was half a deer. He sold me half a deer. And there was none of this heavy meat or fat on the deer. It was clean. It was clean. It was clean. There was no heavy meat anywhere on the cape. Only around the eyes was the usual heavy brown meat, the upper and lower brown meat. And of course, like I say, the upper palate was intact, so I got to skin all that out. But this that I'm getting, this was taken to a meat cutter, a butcher shop. Emphasis on butcher. There was no heavy red meat like this on the hide that I purchased, the cape that I purchased. Might as well say hide because, like I said, it was half a deer. And there was none of this on it, none of this. Nothing like this on it at all. Professional meat cutters. Most of them make lousy skinners. Two different steels. One is heavily ridged, and that puts a nice cutting edge on the blade. The other one is a little smoother, and that kind of evens off the blade. It allows you to have a blade that goes through like this, like butter. I'll be back. Well, here we have it. All hand fleshed. Ready for the next step, which is turning the ears, splitting the lips, eyelids. But this is all the heavy meat, all the heavy, juicy meat has been shaved off the hide. And it is now, this is ready for the salt rack. All with this knife. And I think this took me, there's a lot of meat on here. This took me about maybe 25 minutes total. No holes. And now all the shavings that came off the hide and landed on the paper, simply get rolled up into the paper, tossed in the trash. Keep things that clean, just that easy.